This is the Halftime Show with Omar Al-Duri on Pulse 95.
Let's get ready to rumble. It's the Halftime Show with Omar Al-Duri on Pulse 95 Radio. Thank you very much for tuning in wherever you're tuned in around the world, whether it's 95 FM, pulse95radio.com, our app, Sharjah Broadcasting Authority. Even if you're chilling at home watching us live on YouTube. Shout out to my Instagrammers as well who are first in the building. Zofia, Shakib, Natalie, Mustafa, Subi, Nadine, Ala, Fahad, Benoit. Everyone is talking on Instagram Live, and what a show we have in store for you today. Following the much anticipated return, Wimbledon is back this month. However, it's back following COVID-19, but will it be the same without two of its biggest stars? Find out who those stars are going to be missing from Wimbledon and whether we're going to have that same crunch action. The final 16 kickoff at Euro 2020, but has the draw changed who we think will reach the final? In the fitness segment, we've also got why is strength training just as good as cardio when it comes to achieving your health and fitness goals? And I hope you guys are having a wicked day. Stay tuned for more on the only place to be at 3, the Halftime Show on Pulse 95.
This is the Halftime Show with Omar Al-Duri on Pulse 95.
Yes, welcome. What a tune. Shout out to R who dropped the tunage in the building. Man, it's much better than when I came in, bro. I'll tell you that now. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a wicked time. And as those people on Instagram or YouTube are telling me, they're feeling the vibes. And I'm glad you're feeling the vibes because it's a good day to be alive and to be sharing this hour with you here in the heart of Sharjah on Pulse 95. Wow, I'm rhyming and I didn't even know it. Okay, what's coming up on the show today? We've got quite a few things. We've got Wimbledon coming up today with two of its biggest stars not in this competition this year. Will it be the same following COVID? Then we've also got the Euros. Well, of course, we've got to talk about the Euros, but we're starting off the show with a segment on health and fitness. Now, I've had a few people that have dropped me messages and told me, yo, Omar, bring back the health and fitness segments. We were liking that. We were enjoying that. But I can only bring it back when you guys throw suggestions my way. And we've had the one that's actually really trending at the moment now. And that is actually health and fitness is huge, obviously, around the world. But one of the things a lot of people kind of normally have a look at and say that they have to do because they feel pressure to do it is cardio. They're always saying, we hate cardio. Why are we doing cardio? You know, we're not getting enough cardio exercises. Well, actually, here's the thing. The common goal normally, a lot of people, not for everyone, but for some people, is to lose weight. However, one of the things that's neglected often is strength training or even resistance training. Now, why is resistance training so important when it comes down to health and fitness? It's because even though cardio has its benefits, cardio is for the moment that you're doing it. You feel the benefits, let's say instantly, straight away, directly. However, with strength training and resistance training, the advantage you have in that is the fact that you can burn up to 48 hours without actually doing anything. When you're resting after you've had a good strength training session, then your body starts to react to it. So why is it so important and why are we neglecting it is the question I'm asking you guys out there today. 4215 Ittasalat or slide into my DMs at Omar Al-Duri on Instagram and let me know, are you using strength training, resistance training, and if so, what are the benefits that you've been experiencing? Well, from our side here, we can just tell you straight away that a lot of people feel the pressure. They feel the pressure to be doing cardiovascular exercises. Everyone's thinking, no, I need to get my cardio in. I need to do my running, my cycling. Yes, those things are fantastic. Very, very good. But you have to rely on it, not necessarily when you have the right strength training program to be able to get your metabolism onto a certain pathway. And if you get it on that route, then all of a sudden you are starting to feel the benefits of longevity, strength, training, being able to feel good about yourself, even 48 hours after you've actually trained your body. So we have this debate a lot, and a lot of people always send their message in cardio versus weight training. What shall we do? Shall we do one before the other and then wait till we get enough let's say, fitness built up to do the other? Absolutely not. The idea is to be able to get the right balance. We always talk about balance here on the show, and I can tell you now that having and striking that right balance already gets you in the right frame of mind. Now, why are we mentioning the mind? Because strength training and resistance training is linked to your nervous system, which is linked to your brain and your mind and the way your body works. And if you get that on the right path and you get into a healthy habit, all of a sudden, your life feels, looks much, much better. So, are you doing enough strength training or resistance training? And if so, How has it been working for you? 4215 اتصالات or slide into my DMs at Omar Duri and let me know, how that's impacted you. Masoud's dropped a question already saying, what do you think about gut training? Well, with gut training, you got to give me a bit more than that, Masoud. I'll tell you one thing. Gut health is very, very important. But gut health comes through the right nutrition and the right probiotics and all sorts of things to fuel your body to get your gut nice and right. Now, when it comes down to the core, that's a different story altogether. So let me know a bit more what you want about that, Masoud, and I'll try and fill in the dots with that. Rashid says, before all you have to reset 100. Yes, Spicy. That's exactly what I like to hear, especially from you, one of the great examples of reset and the reset program. But here's the thing, guys, the common goal, and we find this a lot in this region of the world. Genetics is not normally on our side. So people say, well, we need to do a lot of cardio. Okay, good. Cardio is very good. But how about mixing it up with a bit of resistance training? The resistance training, like I said, influences and impacts your body up to 48 hours of activity. So let's say you have a good strength training session today in the morning, let's say, 8:30 a.m. And then after that, once you've had that strength training session, you can fuel your body and recover. And that's not saying do nothing else for the next couple of days. Movement is medicine. And one of the experiences that I have had challenging recently, having had shoulder surgery, if I can say that properly, I can't even talk now. Shoulder surgery is not being able to move as freely, and we always say that movement is medicine. So without your medicine, how are you able to move fluently? Well, everything happens for a reason. So that's why we try and find other avenues, and that's where strength training will come in handy. And it will come in handy because even though caloric numbers aren't that great, if you put on a heart rate monitor, if you rely on one of those apps to track your goals, you might not see the calories burning. However, one thing you will see is a difference in how you feel. And that's where we've had this conversation before about numbers and being obsessed with numbers and not having the right, the right stats to back up your workout. Well, let me tell you something, folks. Sometimes numbers can be deceiving. And even if you're not getting 500, 600, 700 calories, maybe you're just getting 250 or 300 calories out of a strength training workout, it still has its benefits. And that is the segment on health and fitness on the Halftime Show. And we will be right back after the break talking about the Euros and the Euro 2020 as the round of 16 is happening tonight. Okay, stay tuned for more on the only place to be at 3, the Halftime Show on Pulse 95. Enjoy the tune, Travis Scott, Goosebumps.
This is the Halftime Show with Omar Al-Duri on Pulse 95.
Welcome back to the Halftime Show with Omar Al-Duri. I'm your host, covering everything sport, international or local. Hope you guys are having a blessed day, and thank you very much for your message already. If you missed the first segment, man, we were talking about the common goal and how strength training versus cardio can actually be the game changer in your health and fitness goals. And a lot of people have been commenting about that as well, with Masoud also talking about that, and Florin from New York. Okay, the question is, and Spicy, yes, you asked it before I could, is it coming home? Now, we have to say something about those people that, are genuinely thinking that a lot of the England fans believe it's going to come home. What does it's coming home mean? It means if the Euro 2020s is going to end up with the champions being England. Now, there's quite a bit of sarcasm on that because there hasn't actually been England as champions for a very long time. So a lot of people are asking if England are actually going to be able to pull through. And the question I asked is, who is going to win it? So people have been sending their messages in already. You've got Shakib saying France, Florence saying Belgium or Italy. Interesting. Okay. Well, if I wanted you to pick one, Florence, who would you pick? A lot of people drop in their messages. France seem to be the favourites, and I think here's what I think might happen in the Euros. It all depends on squads, as we know, but also the luck of the draw. Now, for those that don't know what's happening, on one side you've got the draws versus the other. You have Wales and Denmark who are playing tonight. That's going to be happening tonight, which is quite exciting actually. Wales and Denmark tonight. It's going to be in Amsterdam. Italy versus Austria, that will be in London. A lot of people touting the Italians, like Nadine, to win it. Spicy saying Belgium. But I think also the draw and the way that it's been mapped out can really tell who's going to win. However, England could not face any more tougher opposition than with Germany. Now, here's the thing about management, coaching. You can never win, because even if you win today and you lose tomorrow, everyone's going to remember tomorrow. So Gareth Southgate faces his toughest challenge up to date in the tournament against the Germans. And the Germans know how to win when it comes down to knockout stages. Florin is saying Germany are awful but will beat England. Ali Kawash is joining. Welcome, Ali. Shakib is saying Wales and Italy to go through tonight. Okay, so Denmark, you think Denmark will be eliminated? And Rashid is saying he will go with Belgium. But what do you guys think? Text me on 4215 Itasalat Urdu. Who's going to win the Euros? Gareth Southgate, the England manager, there's talks about him getting a contract extension until 2024. And we haven't even finished the Euros yet, and already they are talking about him getting an extension. Now, will Gareth Southgate make another bold move in his tactics against Germany? Now, if you wonder what I'm talking about, in the first game, he opted to play two right backs in the same game, one on the left side, one on the right side, with Kieran Trippier being the slightly more experienced fullback, albeit on the wrong side, to support Tyrone Mings. It did work out well. England have finished with a clean sheet and 2 victories out of 3 games, even with the criticism that they faced. Now, will he make another bold move against Germany tonight? And if so, what will it be? I think against the Germans, you've got to actually be very, very well drilled, very well scheduled. So I think very well structured. So I don't think Mason Mount and Chilwell will actually play, because they are isolating being in contact with Billy Gilmore of Scotland due to COVID-19 regulations. I honestly, I'm running out of ideas when it comes down to this whole isolation thing, because the whole Scotland team was with Billy Gilmore and they didn't have to isolate. It's mad, but that could be a blessing in disguise for Southgate. Who's he going to play instead of him? You know what I would do? I'd throw a spanner in the works. People are going to think this is crazy, but I would play Jude Bellingham, the 17-year-old. I would play him next to Declan Rice. I'll play a 4-2-3-1. Sterling has to start for me because he's scored England's only goals. Harry Kane is the talisman. Yes, he hasn't been on form, but you always have to start with him at least there. And Bukayo Saka, my guy for Arsenal, had a great game against Czechoslovakia. I personally wouldn't have started him that game, but he got man of the match, so it speaks for itself. Will Southgate stick with him, or will he bring back Foden in that right-sided inverted role? Then it comes down to the centre-backs. Does Harry Maguire secure his place alongside John Stones, Kyle Walker and Luke Shaw? That's the lineup I think he will go with. However, the changes and the substitutions will be the difference when it comes down to the way England line up against Germany, especially as the game goes on. Stamina-wise, endurance-wise, we all know the Germans are slightly getting to the latter years of their careers, with Müller and Kroos being at the top of that. However, you also need the blend of experience and youth. So I think by starting with Jude Bellingham and Declan Rice, that'll be good. Eventually bringing on someone like Jordan Henderson and bringing on Jadon Sancho will be very, very key in this game, even though he's only had about 4 minutes of game time. Ironically, he plays in Germany, so will that work in his favour? Rashid asking me, who do you think is going to win it? Oh, man. Between England and Germany, I'm hoping England. I think if Southgate gets this right, I think this will be good. I think the final 16 resuming today is massive. And have we changed our minds? Be honest now. Be honest. Have we changed our minds about who's going to win it? Some crazy, crazy results, there. Throughout the tournament, people were saying France, people were saying Portugal, people were saying Italy, people were saying Netherlands. It could go either way. I'm still sticking with Portugal. I think Portugal might just edge it. Who's your starting lineup? My starting lineup will be, for the England game? I think it will be Pickford in goal, Luke Shaw. I would go Harry Maguire, John Stones, and Kyle Walker. The two I would personally pick, Declan Rice and Bellingham. I think he'll go with Declan Rice and Phillips. And then the 3, I will go Grealish in the 10, Sterling on the left, Saka on the right, and then Harry Kane up front. That's how I would do it. Who else we've got here? Unless Southgate changes its formation against Germany, it's going to be very tricky for him to get past the Germans. Well, I mean, here's the thing, Shakib. It depends if he matches the 3 at the back, and if he does, he can bring Kyle Walker into the fray as a third centre-back alongside John Stones and Harry Maguire. He can play the right wing back Trippier, and you can put Saka on the left or even Shaw. But then again, you're tinkering with the system too many times, especially now. He only gets one chance to get this right. But what do I know about football? Anyway, that's the Euro 2020 segment. Who are your favorites? I'm seeing a lot of people say Italy and France at the moment. You know, if you tackle those teams, you never know what could happen. And is there going to be an upset? There's always one upset in this tournament, especially the knockout stages. Could it be England beat Germany? Will that be the upset? Could Italy get knocked out? There's another one for you guys. Hey, I'm just putting it out there. Let me know, 4215 Itasalat or do. And we're going to play you some Justin Bieber Peaches clean version. Here we go.
This is the Halftime Show with Omar Al-Duri on Pulse 95.
Sure is that time. It's the Halftime Show with Omar Al-Duri. Thank you very much for tuning in and connecting with me. If you've missed the show, don't worry. You can catch all of our episodes on podcasts, Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, or even if you prefer a visual, show some love, head over to the YouTube channel Pulse 95 Radio, and we are there. We got some fantastic guests covering some wicked topics like mental health, gut health, and how important the brain is on performance. Right, okay, so on the show today, we've spoken about the common goal when it comes down to a lot of the things we hear about in training and fitness, and that is losing weight. But sometimes we get overlooked at when it comes down to the strength training and resistance parts and its benefits compared to just doing cardio. So we were discussing that earlier on the show. We also asked you, well, actually Spicy asked you, I just re-asked you the question, is it coming home? I don't know if it's coming home, but who's your predicted winners for the Euro 2020? The round of 16 resumes tonight as Denmark, Italy. Who else is playing tonight? Who's playing tonight, guys? Who's playing? Italy, Austria, and Denmark, Wales are playing tonight. That's what's happening. But more importantly, let's go over to tennis right now. Now, Wimbledon, guys. Wimbledon is big, and Wimbledon's finally returning. However, two of its biggest stars in Naomi Osaka and Simone Halep are going to be missing, man. They're going to be missing this year. I'm gutted, you know, especially coming back to Wimbledon. Actually, that's where I'm from, and having the tennis. Everyone's in such a good mood when Wimbledon comes around, so I'm kind of bummed out that they're not going to be there. However, two-time champion Andy Murray will be returning, so that's been a while since I've seen anything on him, which is great. The Brit has not played an event since 2017 because of injury and the postponement of last year's edition, but now people are returning back to Wimbledon, so I'm looking forward to that. British wildcard Jack Draper. You might say who? Well, he's making his Wimbledon main draw debut against defending champion Novak Djokovic. How about that? If you're a wildcard and you're facing Novak Djokovic on your first game at Wimbledon. Whew. It's going to be interesting. British number one, women's number one, actually, Joanna Konta. She's a semi-finalist in 2017. She'll be meeting Czech Katerina Siniakova. Try saying that 10 times in her opener. Looking good. But what can we expect from the Wimbledon returns? Konta, Evans, and Norrie are all seeded. First time since 1978 that Britain has 3 seeds in the singles, and there will be 15 home players and 2 main draws. That should be good. And also you've got the play starts on the outside courts at 11 on Monday, with defending men's champion Djokovic opening up as centre court. Centre court's big. Even when people couldn't even, get the main tickets, they just chill at centre court and just watch that. That's going to be cool. I'm kind of gutted for Naomi Osaka, actually, because she obviously, a lot was made and publicized after her withdrawal from the Roland Garros, and the fact that it was due to mental health issues, and some people criticized, some people got it. I was kind of gutted. I was hoping that maybe she'd take some time out for that tournament and then come back, but you can never put a time on mental health, and she's chosen to withdraw herself from the tournament, and rightfully so. I think, you can never rush these kind of things. I'm gutted for her, but I think with all the speculation about fans returning to the stadiums and back to sport and so many different factors, I kind of wonder how the athletes will respond to having fans back in the stadium. The way it affects our mental health, the way the pressure is different, the expectation is different. Yes, people can watch from home, but when you're there and you can hear them almost breathe through the matches. Wimbledon is back this year and with fans. Now, there's been a lot said about the criticism of fans returning but not being able to return back to the country. Well, it's coming at a time where, we kind of had to embrace the new norm. Hopefully, if everyone's safe, we'll be able to actually see fans back in, because I must say the Euros has been great in seeing fans in. And I was talking about this earlier. Fans add a different kind of pressure, but they can also lift you when you're down. And I kind of like the fact that we're going to be seeing fans back in the stadiums, hopefully quite safe and sound. So the Euros and the Copa America is happening now. Wimbledon is happening as well. And I want to see how they respond, because for those that don't know, during Wimbledon, okay, this is the only time pretty much in the UK we get good weather. Unless there's a heat wave, it's very rare you get the sun out, you get people enjoying the weather. And having lived in London and coming from those sides, or those ends anyway, it was nice to kind of see how people are just in a good mood. Everyone's in such a good mood. I could see my neighbours. I didn't even know much about my neighbours. You could see them during Wimbledon time doing their thing. So I kind of like that. But yeah, who's going to be watching Wimbledon this year, 2021, following the break it's taken? Coming up next, we're answering all your questions following today's show. Is it coming home? If so, how would you line up against Germany? Who's going to win the Euros? We also spoke about the importance of strength and resistance training as opposed to just doing cardio. And right now, we're wrapping up this segment on Wimbledon 2021. Enjoy the break, folks. Here's some tunes from Bruno Mars, Anderson .Paak, Silk Sonic, Leave the Door Open, and Don't Come Back. Actually, please come back. I'll see you in a bit.
This is the Halftime Show with Omar Al-Duri on Pulse 95.
Where is that time? It's the Halftime Show with Omar Al-Duri. Man, I can't believe we're already at full time on the Halftime Show. It's been a great show. Some really cool questions coming in, especially from Masoud, who asked me, what do you think about mental health training? I think it's essential, to be honest, Masoud. I think it's key, and I think it should start from a very, very young age. I think schools and government should be responsible for educating, our youth about what mental health is and how important it is to be able to get the right knowledge and education on mental health, what to expect, how to respond to it, how it's okay to go seek help. There's so many factors I think that are really key. Another comment, it should be part of the subject. Learning such can enhance the mental health and train us to deal a lot. Also can normalize the mental. Mindset's important. Sometimes people wait till it's a bit too late to kind of figure out why they're not in control. I think it's essential to be able to understand all the variables that affect that, from family to your roots, to your work, to your social life, to social media, technology. There's so many different things there, but very, very nice point. Another comment, so it's really important to work the youth at the root level so they can understand more better at very young age. Physical health equals mental health. Yes, I think physical health plus mental health equals well-being. Definitely normalize the mental health education. I think that's very, very important to be able to do that. And when it comes down to educating our kids and our youth out there at the moment now, it's very important to be able to have not just teachers talk about it, but also public figures, in places that have a reach to, a worldwide audience, to be able to discuss the importance of it, and maybe even the fact of if you neglect it, what comes out of it. It's super, super important. Khalid Saleh, my uncle, you look great, mashallah. Germany will be defeated from England. I hope you're right, Khalu. I hope you're right. There's a lot of pressure. The Germans are not to be underestimated, especially the way they play. They've got a couple of players in that system that can be found out, but also they have a lot of experience in players like Thomas Muller. You've got Toni Kroos, and you've got Manuel Neuer in goal. These are guys that have done it, have been at the highest level, have won World Cups, and still going at the moment. But I think also the blend between youth in Kai Havertz and Thomas Werner and Rudiger, that will be key. But I think the game changer when it comes to the German side is Kimmich. Very intelligent as an athlete, as a footballer, very smart. You've heard Pep Guardiola talk about him. And I think the way that he plays the game will be something that will have to be very closely monitored, and maybe even define who Southgate plays on that side to be able to get a result against the Germans. We've had a lot of people actually message in and tell us who they think is going to win. the tournament. A lot of people are saying France and a lot of people are saying Italy. I haven't seen anyone say Germany, which is interesting. So I don't know if that means that they don't think they're going to last that long, but that's going to be good to see what comes out of that. And also surprising, no one said Netherlands, no one said Holland. Who've had a good start in this tournament as well. So round of 16 starts tonight. We all know that the groups, are going to be key in who comes out in the round of 16. And then the round of 16, the luck of the draw is another thing. So yes, England might face Germany, but the winner of that, and I know people say don't look ahead, you got to take one game as it comes, but realistically, they look ahead. They look and see who's up next. The winner between Sweden and Ukraine will face the winner between England and Germany. And here's the thing, I actually think that games like against the Ukraine and Sweden, and if you remember even Iceland, those are the trickier games. Games against Germany and Italy and Belgium and Portugal, you know what their players are capable of, you know what's going to happen, you know exactly how it's going to go. But will there be an upset in the tournament? I asked that question earlier. I didn't get many people respond to that one. I think a lot of people responded to who's going to win it. But if you look at the round of 16, Italy play Austria. Could Austria upset and win the game against Italy? That would change everything, because the winner between Italy and Austria faces the winner between Belgium and Portugal. And that will be interesting, because Belgium-Portugal, I think, is looking like it's going to be probably the tie that everyone's going to turn to. Yes, England and Germany has a lot of interest, but Belgium and Portugal will be interesting. Lukaku versus Cristiano Ronaldo. Then you have France versus Switzerland and Croatia versus Spain. Again, could any of those upset? Could Switzerland upset the world and beat France? And Croatia and Spain, I think they're on similar levels, so I don't know if that will be an upset. Wales versus Denmark, Holland versus Czech, England versus Germany, and Sweden versus Ukraine. We're going to be back on the halftime show. It is full time, as you just heard the full-time whistle, but I look forward to seeing your faces here again on Monday, 3 to 4, on the only place to be at 3, the halftime show on Pulse 95. Have a great day, folks. Peace and love, and I'll see you on Monday. Love you guys. Bye.
If you liked this episode of Future Talk, drop a like and subscribe.
Pulse 95.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for all our daily updates and top stories.